What's going on, everyone? Clep Napier here for WeAreCritics.com, and today I'm here with a very special guest to talk movies. She is the former host of AMC Movie Talk. I got Chrisley, well, not Kennedy anymore.
I know.
She's married now.
Who does that?
I don't know.
Who does that?
I
Who
don't
gets
know.
married these days? No, he's the best husband in the world.
But you have the perfect name.
I know. Bill Burr did once say, Chrisley, don't ever change your last name. So Bill Burr, I am so sorry. So sorry.
And we are here to talk about, revisit, and recap Love Lies Bleeding. This is directed by Rose Glass. Not known for a lot of big things.
No. And I made him watch this movie, guys, because I have been so excited about this movie because I love Kristen Stewart. She is not a Twilight girl anymore. She has become so much bigger. Katy O'Brien, she was in The Mandalorian. So you gotta love her for that.
It's got Ed Harris in that, who's great in everything he does. Dave Franco, who's surpassed his brother in so many ways.
And Jena Malone.
Yeah.
Jena Malone.
Yeah, no, listen, I normally try to go out and see everything, but this is one of those movies that I kept telling myself, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'll get to it when I get to it. But Chrisley, you made me. You literally was like, no, we got to talk about it. You put your foot down. I took the time. I ended up watching it twice.
Yeah.
So I watched it once, and then the next morning I woke up again. I had coffee. I was like, I'm going to revisit. I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, because you told me about this movie. What is it about this film that just wants you? It makes you want to just rush on and tell everyone about this film.
Okay, so 3 things. One is I absolutely love Kristen Stewart. Okay. I think that her ability, she was so typecasted with Twilight, her ability to go out and make movies and the choices she makes with the movies that she chooses, to me, I mean, American Ultra was a big movie, but a lot of the movies that she makes are smaller, more independent films.
She's careful.
She's careful. Personal Shopper, Clouds of Silmaria. I have loved every single thing except for Equals. That was just bad. And Katy O'Brien. I think that Katy O'Brien has come from, doing 1 episode here, 1 episode there, into a star, and she's making these role choices that are amazing. And you and I work Comic-Con every year. Yeah. So I literally I did run her over at Comic-Con this year. We dropped our stuff everywhere. And by the way, if you can see in this poster behind me, Katy O'Brien is jacked.
Transformation on
Kristen Stewart is like this. Yeah. And when I saw Katy O'Brien in November, she looked at Kristen Stewart. She did not look like He-Man.
So I didn't even recognize her at first. I didn't realize that I've seen her before. I'm looking at her. You said she was an Ant-Man. And I had to go back into my head and be like, Ant-Man. I'm like, oh, I know exactly who she is in Ant-Man, but I know a lot of you are looking at this and you're like, I don't remember seeing her in Ant-Man. She looks more like she should have been in She-Hulk. But I thought the transformation, because she just looked like a new person to me, and her performance to me was just phenomenal in this movie. She carries a lot of this movie.
She does.
And so, just so we can kind of recap what's going on and what she's talking about, let's talk a little bit about what this film is about. Yeah. So you get an outcast that comes into this town. She has goals. She has something on her mind. She's set that she wants to win this bodybuilding contest.
And she's homeless.
Yep. She wants to win a bodybuilding contest. That's Katy. And she meets Kristen Stewart's character along the way, who comes from a very bad family. Ed Harris is her dad. Dave Franco is her brother-in-law, and they are just bad people all around. Katy gets kind of mixed up into their world.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
And the moral of the story is, what would you do for love? Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. What would you do for love? What would you do for love?
I mean, sometimes you gotta hide a body.
Or 2.
Sometimes you just gotta hide a body. It just
or 3,
happens.
or maybe, listen, it gets really, really twisted, but I couldn't help but feel like there was a lot of symbolism and a lot of messaging around, the strength of womanhood and the entitlement and power hungry men in this, and just a lot of control going on. That's where most of the fight comes from. And they do it in a very subtle way. For those of you who are, but the woke, it's not woke. It's
not
real.
All. Oh my God,
it's real. It's very real.
Yeah.
And it's it's told in a very, very powerful way without being too preachy. So I wanna talk to you about what are some of the key features in this film that stand out to you, and why we think that people need to see this. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a knock out the park. But I want to hear from you, Chrisley. What are the key moments in the story that you want these people to know about?
This is the most twisted, screwed up love story that you will see since I don't even know when. And I feel like you'll appreciate this when you watch as many movies as we do, to find something that utterly surprises you that you have not seen before, especially with two lead actresses, is amazing.
Yeah.
There are some scenes that I don't know how they did it because they had to be super uncomfortable. There are some scenes that are surprising. I think that the chemistry between them and the way that it shifts throughout the movie into very different kinds of chemistry, but still out of love, sucked me in more and more every single time it got more fucked up. I'm going to just say it.
Yeah.
And I want to see more from this director because I love A24's films. Like I do have a soft spot for them. I feel like they make some beautiful films, but some of the shot choices even, they're beautiful and they make you think about what's happening in the film. And you see, like, there's this one moment where they're driving down this road and there's so much thought that has to be going on in these characters' head about what do I do next and where do I go from here? And all you see is the lines as she passes them. And I was just like, it was, I have the goosebumps because there were so many beautiful moments and shots in this film that was so crazy and outlandish, and it was a limited release. Not a lot of people got to see it, but now you can get it.
I where did I watch? I was on Amazon. Yeah, you can watch this on Amazon right now. I think it's for rental or for purchase. It's not free yet that I've seen, but it is out there and it is worth the buy. It's worth the $20 if you guys want to check this thing out. Let's talk about some of the acting in this because I think that a lot of people in this film aren't getting the credit that they deserve outside of the lead cast.
Jena Malone.
Listen, the most realist character in that movie. Yeah. Like, I found myself getting so frustrated for her. Like, I'm like, but it's real. Like, that happens all the time, and we don't want to spoil it, but you guys will understand exactly what we mean. And that's the young lady who plays Kristen Stewart's sister.
Yeah,
she's dealing with some craziness within her own life that just kind of makes things go wacky.
And I feel like Jena Malone has played so many characters where she's just the bitch. Yeah, she plays that so freaking well. So to see her be in a situation that's completely opposite of that was not only great, but she nailed it. Yeah. I felt for her. I was angry for her. And I love nothing more than a character that gives me such a visceral reaction that I want to stand up and scream at the TV. And she did that.
And she commits through and through. Like,
through and through.
You don't, some things don't get resolved in this film, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, listen, I'm a huge fan of this. I don't usually do the rating thing. Yeah. Like, we don't say this many stars, that many stars, but I definitely think you should add this to your watch list. If I had to give it a rating out of 5, I would say maybe it's like a 3.5, 4 for me. It's really that solid of a film because it's a story about human behavior. And once you get that in a mix with great storytelling, it's a knockout the park for me, I think. You know.
Favorite part of the movie? Without giving spoilers? Do you have a favorite part?
Yeah, my favorite part is when one person is trying to take care of a situation and then another person is trying to take care of a situation and they kind of cross paths in the middle out of nowhere. It was like the most shocking thing. I was like, no way. Like, oh my God. Like, yeah. So Kristen Stewart thinks she's kind of taking care of something and then her dad thinks he's kind of taking care of something and shit just goes sideways. Yeah, it goes laying down sideways and rolling over. Literally. That's probably like because it caught me off guard. I was like, no fuck way. Yeah. I was like, wow. Yeah. So yeah. What about you?
I think the ending was my favorite. That one ending scene in that truck was, I think, my favorite part of the whole movie.
I feel like that's a powerful moment. Like, it kind of like puts the story to rest.
It does.
Literally.
Literally. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no, there's so many great moments in this. I will tell you one moment that kind of pulled me out of it that was a little weird.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
The giant moment.
Yeah.
So weird.
Like, I think I get it.
It was a Hulk moment.
Yeah. So I think I got it, but I didn't have to see that. Because
No.
it was a little weird.
That
but-
was the one part they took too far. That's what makes me, if I had to rate it, do a 4 and not a 5. Because I loved the film that much, but that one moment took me out of it, and I was like, I mean, was it necessary?
There's a lot of moments that are kind of like that, where it feels a little superhero-y.
Yes.
And kind of.
And the
weird.
only thing that I can think of is this is a bodybuilding movie, obviously, is the steroids. Is the only thing that I think that they were trying to give you a visual of an actual roid rage.
Yeah.
Because it's true, it happens, not to everybody. But I do think that they were trying to give you this visual of what steroids makes you feel like, and in that moment, what she felt. And I think that's. Because I went back and watched it a second time as well. I think when I watched it back the second time, I was like, oh, this is this director or storyteller's way of showing this complete roid rage and what that steroid is making that person feel like in that moment.
It's creative. It's
weird.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it is.
I think the most creative moment of the, showing the effects of that was the competition.
Yes.
I thought that was trippy, but I thought it was brilliant at the same time. That one was great. But there's a lot of moments that were just kind of like, is this?
What's happening? Movie? Yeah. What's happening? But I love that. I love to be surprised. And I like to watch my TV and go like, what am I watching right now? And then at the end be like, okay, it made sense. Yeah. I still don't understand this part, but I liked it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all I really got to say about this film. Yeah. I don't know if you have anything to add to this. Ladies and gentlemen.
Watch it!
Yeah, this is Love Lies Bleeding, starring Kristen Stewart. Directed by Rose Glass. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check this out. It's available now on Prime. I'm pretty sure it's on Apple TV and wherever else you can stream and find something. But, yeah, man, check it out. Let us know what you think in the comments. And, of course, for more movie news and television news, check out wearecritics.com. And I'll talk to you all later.